Someone disrespected you today. Maybe it was small, a tone, a look, a comment that shouldn't have mattered, but it did. And now it's living rent-free in your head hours later. Here's what nobody tells you: that's not weakness. That's a trap. And most people spend their entire lives inside it, reacting, resenting, replaying. But what if after today, nothing could do that to you again? Not a rude stranger, not a toxic coworker, not even someone you love acting out of character. I'm not talking about going cold. I'm not talking about pretending it doesn't hurt. I'm talking about something far more powerful. The Stoics discovered it over 2,000 years ago, and the people who master it walk through life with a calm that almost looks dangerous. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why certain things bother you and how to make sure they never get that power again. And lesson 7, most people skip it. But it's the one that changes everything. 1. Your reactions are your choice. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. The last time someone upset you, who suffered more, them or you? Think about it. They moved on. You carried it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a gap. Most people never find it. The Stoics lived inside it. That gap is where your freedom lives. Here's the shift. Stop asking, "Why did they do that?" Start asking, "Why am I still letting it affect me?" One question keeps you a victim. The other makes you dangerous in the best possible way. Practice this. Next time you feel triggered, pause. Name the emotion out loud. Anger, frustration, hurt. Naming it breaks its grip. Then ask, "Is my reaction serving me right now?" That pause is everything. That pause is power. 2. Stop expecting people to be you. Here's a truth that will save you years of frustration. Nobody operates by your values, and they never will. You show up on time, they don't. You keep your word, they don't. You care, they don't, not in the same way. And every time you expect them to, you hand them a weapon to hurt you with. Epictetus said it plainly: "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are." That's not giving up. That's refusing to fight a battle you were never meant to win. The shift: when someone disappoints you, the question isn't "how could they?" It's "why did I expect otherwise?" Release the expectation. Reclaim your peace. We're only 2 lessons in, and we haven't even touched the one the Stoics considered the hardest. Keep watching. 3. Let go of being right. Be honest. How many arguments have you won and still felt empty after? Because winning an argument and gaining peace are not the same thing. In fact, they're often opposites. The need to be right is ego dressed up as logic, and ego is expensive. It costs you relationships, energy, sleep. Would you rather be right, or would you rather be free? Lao Tzu wrote, "He who is attached to his views will never grow." This doesn't mean you stop having opinions. It means you stop needing others to validate them. The move: next time an argument starts heating up, ask yourself, will this matter in 48 hours? If the answer is no, let it go. Not because you lost, because your peace is worth more than the point. 4. Their words don't define you. Someone criticized you recently, and part of you is still holding it. Why do we do this? Why does one negative comment outweigh 10 compliments? Because we were never taught the difference between feedback and noise. Marcus Aurelius captured it perfectly. "It never ceases to amaze me. We love ourselves more than others, but care more about their opinions than our own." Read that again, slowly. Here's the filter. Ask yourself, does this person's opinion come from knowledge, care, or credibility? If the answer is no to all 3, it's noise. And noise doesn't get a seat at your table. Your worth is not up for debate, not by critics, not by strangers, not even by people who once knew you. Stop. Because lesson 5 is where most people fail, not because they don't understand it, but because they're too afraid to actually do it. 5. Set boundaries without guilt. You know that feeling when you say yes, but everything inside you screamed no. That's not kindness. That's self-abandonment. And every time you do it, you teach people exactly how to treat you. Boundaries aren't walls. They're not cold. They're not selfish. They are the clearest form of self-respect you can practice. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life, and it is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Your time is not beyond your control. Your energy is not beyond your control. Who gets access to you, that's yours to decide. Start here. Pick one area of your life where you're overextended. One relationship, one obligation, one habit. And draw one clear line, not with anger, with calm. I care about you and I can't do this. That sentence will change how people treat you, permanently. 6. Detach from their approval. Here's a hard question. How many decisions have you made based on what others would think? Your career, your appearance, your opinions in a room full of people. Epictetus didn't sugarcoat it. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, because growth is inconvenient to people who are standing still. And if you need their approval to move, you'll never move far enough. The practice: every morning, ask yourself one question: am I making this choice for me, or for an audience that won't be there when the consequences arrive? Live for your own answer, not their applause. Lesson 7 is where this gets counterintuitive, because the most powerful response isn't a response at all. 7. The power of silence. Someone provokes you, pushes a button, says something designed to get a reaction, and you give them exactly what they want. Here's what the Stoics knew: silence is not passive. Silence is strategic. When you respond to provocation, you hand them control of the narrative. When you go quiet, you take it back. Marcus Aurelius: the best answer to anger is silence. Silence says, your words don't have jurisdiction over me. And here's what makes it powerful: it unnerves people who expected a fight. Because they were ready for noise. They weren't ready for calm. The rule: before you respond to anything that makes your pulse rise, wait. 5 seconds minimum. In those 5 seconds, ask, am I responding or am I reacting? Reacting gives them power. Responding keeps it yours. 8. Gratitude kills anger. This one sounds soft. It's not. Anger and gratitude cannot exist in the same moment. It's neurologically impossible. When your brain is focused on what you have, it physically cannot sustain the same intensity of focus on what went wrong. The Stoics used this deliberately, not as toxic positivity, as a mental reset. Here's how you use it in real time. The moment anger spikes, don't suppress it. Redirect it. Ask, what's one thing in this moment I'm glad exists? Not a grand philosophical answer. Something small: sunlight, your breath, the fact that this moment will pass. That question alone interrupts the spiral, and once you interrupt it, you control it. Cicero called gratitude the parent of all virtues. He wasn't being poetic. He was describing a neurological override. Now we're getting into the 2 lessons that hit differently, because they're not about other people at all. They're entirely about you. 9. Reframe criticism as data. The most mentally strong people don't hate criticism. They mine it, not because it always feels good, but because they've learned to separate the delivery from the content. Harsh words, wrong tone, bad timing, that's the packaging. Inside that package is sometimes a truth you needed to hear. Here's the filter. When criticism arrives, ask 3 questions. Is there anything accurate in this? Does this person have standing to say it? What's the one thing I can take and use? Take that one thing, leave the rest. Epictetus said, if anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses. Answer, he does not know my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these. That's not arrogance. That's unshakable inner security. 10. Master the art of letting go. This is the one. Because everything we've talked about, every lesson, every strategy, eventually comes down to this. Holding on is the source of almost all suffering. Holding on to what they said, to how it went, to who was right, to the version of events where you get the apology you deserve. The Buddha said it without softening. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You know who's hurting when you replay that argument at 2 a.m. Not them, you. Letting go is not forgetting. It is not saying what happened was okay. It is deciding that your peace matters more than your case. Here's what letting go actually looks like. You feel it fully. You don't pretend it didn't happen. And then you ask, is carrying this making me stronger or smaller? When the answer is smaller, you release it. Not for them, for you. Marcus Aurelius, do not be disturbed by what is outside your power. Let it go and you will find peace. That's the whole game, right there. You came here because something was bothering you. Maybe you already know what it was. Maybe it was just a feeling, that low hum of tension you couldn't quite name. Either way, you stayed, and that says something about you. Here's what I want you to walk away with. Not 10 things, just one. Somewhere today, something tried to take your peace. And for the first time, maybe in a long time, you're looking at it differently. That shift, however small it feels right now, is the beginning of something that doesn't go away. You don't have to master all of this overnight. Nobody does. But pick one thing from today, one moment, one habit, one line that hit different, and carry it into tomorrow. That's it. That's the whole assignment. And if someone in your life is quietly struggling with this, still carrying people around in their head who don't deserve the space, send them this. Not as advice. Just as a quiet gesture that says, I thought of you. Until next time, guard your peace like it's the only thing that's truly yours, because it is.